Now that we've finished assembling the step stool, we need to put it on drafting paper and dimension it. Before doing that, you must save this file. It will not let you do it. Put it on a drawing sheet unless you save it. After you have it saved, you'll hit File, Make Drawing from Assembly. I have a template created for our class, so we'll hit Browse, and you'll navigate to your folder. Once you have that done and selected, there's my template, you'll select OK. The first thing that we always do is select our front view and put in the bottom left of our paper. I'll release. I did that by left-clicking the view, holding and dragging it over. I release once I got it to where I wanted. Once you release that front view, then you're able to put your top view by just raise your mouse straight above it and clicking once. Then I'll come back and go to the side. I'm setting where my right view would be. I'll click to set it. Then I'll come back and go at a 45 degree to get my isometric drawing. I will click to set it. Once I'm done putting my views, I'll hit Escape on my keyboard. If you need to change any locations of your drawings, you're able to move your mouse inward, and once you get one of these dots where two lines intersect, you're able to click and then you're able to move. One thing to notice, if I move my front view up or down or left and right, my other views will follow. On the isometric, if you need to move it, you can move that freely to where you want it. So if you need to give some more space, that's how you do it. Now on my top view, I want to select it, hit View, Display, Hidden Lines Visible. I'll do that same thing for my right side view. That way you can see where the shelf and our support pieces are. Once I have that selected, I'll hit Escape, and I want to make sure I have my scale set at 1 inch, or 1 inch equals 8. So right down here, I'll hit the down arrow here, and I want to make sure I have 1/8 selected. If you have the wrong one selected, either it'll be too small or too big. So we want 1/8. Now that you have that, we're going to dimension this. So the first thing we always do is put our overall dimensions for height, width, and depth. You'll do that by going to Annotation and Smart Dimension. I'll start with my height. Make sure when you're doing this, you have filleted edges. Make sure you're selecting the flat area. I'll put my overall height, and I'll put my overall width. Notice I'm not getting that flayed rounded edge. And I'm putting my dimensions in between my views that correlate. Now I'll put my overall depth, I'll put it on this top one here. When you're putting that up on there, you want it to kind of line up with your other views as far as location goes. So I have my overall height, width, and depth. Now I'm going to do a breakdown of each of those. I'll start with my height, and I'll say this bottom shelf to this bottom port to the base, 5 inches. I'm putting that on the inside of my overall dimension. Next, I will do the whole shelf. If you look there, that measurement's kind of jumbled in there. If I go over to the side here and hit Offset Text, it will allow me to have a better view of what that number is. Next, I'll get the gap here. Should be 7 inches. Notice I'm lining these up as well as I can, as long as I'm able to see them. My last one is my support piece here. It's looking pretty good. So I have a breakdown of my heights. Now I'm going to do the same thing for my widths. So we did an offset when assembling from there to there. Same thing, it's tough to read. So I'll hit this tool here, offset text, and move it to where it's legible. Then I'm only going to do one more, and I'll say from here to here is 15.5 inches. So that's looking pretty good. So I have done with my overall height and width. Now I'm going to depth. There's not as much stuff to do here. We could do some to hidden lines. It's usually not good practice to do hidden lines. So what I'm going to ask you to do is for the handle, we're going to do the overall width of that, or the depth of that, and how far away it is from the edge. At this point, all your dimensioning is done. You have the overalls and breakdowns. Now I want you to go in, click Note, and you'll go down to your name, type your name, and put a title. Your title should be Step Stool. So I'm done with my notes. Notice I have my name, title, and the scale also populates right there. Now that you're done with this, you're going to save it twice. The first one, you're going to do File, Save As, and you're going to save it as Step Stool Drawing. And make sure your Save As type is SolidWorks Drawing. That way, if you ever lose your drawing, you don't have to redo anything. Now you're going to save again and do a File, Save As. This time, you're going to keep the same file name, but you're going to do Save As Type, change the type, and we're going to select PDF, Adobe Portable Document Format, PDF, and select Save. That last one, that PDF, is the one you're going to turn into Schoology. You are now complete with the whole project.